Hello, everyone. Welcome to our cohort for demo day of the Tsunami ecosystem. We are very excited to have you all here today. I'm just coming from a 20-hour flight. I hope I don't look too tired, or I'm very excited definitely to be able to present today. We have been just coming back from the official Tsunami ecosystem launch and Foundance launch last week in Singapore at the Token 2049. Was really a great event, and we have seen that in Asia there's a lot of great sentiment in Web3 and AI definitely, and it was really great to go to attend that event. If anybody of you has the chance to do that, I can really recommend it. So today we are very excited to present you the cohort 4, cohort 4, the best ventures of cohort 4. Plus, we will add a new format where we also invite prior investments. And at the end, we will also show you an opportunity to, join into the overall ecosystem of Soonami. And I will now have a couple of minutes to give you a short intro what Soonami is about and what we are actually doing here. The mission is to become the leading global ecosystem for early stage venture building. And, where does that come from? It comes from the topic that when, we started Soonami, it was during COVID. And I felt pretty lonely at that time, being forced to work from home. And at the same time, starting a digital venture in our world has become a more complex and global endeavor. For example, looking at team building, more and more teams are working remotely because, the best co-founder for your topic might not live in the city or in the street next door, but might be someone you have to look for, in another country even. Funding is really interesting. If you look at the funding numbers, per capita, for example, venture capital funding, I think is highest in Singapore, and in Germany, it's like 20% of that level. So if you're a founder looking for funding, you also have to consider, where to incorporate for which topic. Regulation, especially in terms of, tokenization in Web3, is very, very different all over the world. A lot of founders would start in, I don't know, Delaware or Wyoming if it's only about funding, but then it's hard to tokenize. So this whole topic of funding and incorporation is a very complex one. And what we suggest is really to sort of postpone these topics a little bit and use our infrastructure that we built first. The problem that we have identified is that there was no platform for starting ventures from scratch. We just launched this platform last week officially. The market is a quite interesting one. There are more than 580 million entrepreneurs in the world. These are starting 100 million ventures every year. Obviously, 90% of these are, something like the barbershop in Sao Paulo, but 1.2 million or 1.2% of the 100 million are digital first or deep tech ventures started every year. And if you look at the numbers that accelerators cover these days, which is roughly 25,000 covered by projects covered by 700 accelerators all over the world. This is, a small fraction, meaning that 98% of the bigger number of 1.2 million ventures are not covered by any sort of support or studio platform. Another topic that is really interesting, in my opinion, when talking to VCs, and I have a lot of, friends who started VCs after their entrepreneurial career, most of the VCs really look at, Ivy League CV, Ivy League University, or, you have an exceptional CV, and then you might be considered getting funding. And I think this is profoundly wrong. Why? I mean, Ivy League CV, obviously it helps, if you have this sort of goal to attend like a good university, but not everybody is able to pay for this. And secondly, working a corporate career in, any of these bigger ventures might not show that you're a good entrepreneur. And we believe, in execution power, meaning that there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there who just cannot display their execution power because they never got the chance to do so. And that's what our platform stands for. We want everybody to be able to show their execution power. That's why we have a 10-day remote hackathon format, where they can show what kind of team did they put together, what kind of MVP do they come up with. And from this, I think we have a global development or a global movement started that leads to also more global ventures and leads to more chances and better chances overall, no matter where you are located. We see a big difference in funding in different geolocations, and we believe this should be somehow leveled. And yeah, that is sort of the intro and the mission and the problem and what we're doing about it. And now we are going a step deeper into the Soonami ecosystem, what we've done so far. Soonami is a German GmbH. As a mother company, it owns 100% of the founders' stock company in Switzerland, which runs our deal flow platform, which is a platform where founders can connect. Founders can connect with other co-founders, with advisors, and also with investors, and also start their DAOs. And today we will also see the presentations of other ventures in that ecosystem. It's Audit One. It's a security audit company. I think our share is roughly 12%. Sorry, I didn't update that. Rethink Finance, which is a Web3 fund company, and Dealflow, which is an AI company. And later on, after the presentations, I might briefly also show you what kind of interesting use cases are possible in this kind of setup. For example, we are now looking into funding of Rethink Finance fund investments into projects on founders, fully based on Web3 transactions. We're having in KYC managed with Audit One on founders, and we're also integrating, obviously, AI into the single steps that we offer on our deal flow platform to develop the ventures, so that it becomes like a real virtual co-founder that gets easy access to funding and obviously also security through the Audit One marketplace. Yeah, and that is my short overview of the Soonami ecosystem. I'm now very excited to see the presentations of all the ventures that also joined the cohort. So these are sort of the ventures that we've also invested before this cohort, which we'll also partially present today. But we obviously have four or five more ventures, which we'll also present today. And I'm looking very much forward to these presentations, and now I want to hand over to Diksha.
Thank you, Chris. Always so refreshing to hear about our startups and see their journey. And demo day is actually our favorite part because this is the day that we see where startups have come from the day they began with us. And it's truly heartwarming to see their journey. So I'll not take a lot of time. I'm just going to lay the ground rules and then we start so that you all have the show time rather than me speaking. We'll have 5 minutes. Today we have 8 startups. You have a 5-minute pitch, and then you have 5-minute Q&A. Everybody in the audience can ask a question, so just go for it and ask it. Best is if you raise your hand so that I can take your name and then you can ask the question, or you write it in the chat and then you can ask the question. My colleague Saksham will announce before he starts the timer. So for 5 minutes, and as soon as your first 5 minutes are over, we will start another 5 minutes for your Q&A. So if you don't want to lose time of Q&A, please finish in time with your pitch. Another thing is that we also have a poll after each startup has finished pitching. This is for investors in the call or partners in the call. So in case you are interested in connecting with these teams, please say a yes, and then we will do the follow-ups with you, or we will connect you to the founders directly and make introductions. And the last rule is, like, whoever is pitching next, please keep your screen ready when the first pitch is over. And as soon as the pitch is over, please stop sharing your screen so the other person can keep their screen ready. Any questions? Okay, you all have pitched with us before, so you don't have questions. So the first startup we have is Rethink Finance, and we have Rock here. Hello, Rock.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, should I start the timer?
First, he can
Perfect.
start
Let me
the screen. Yeah.
share my screen. Oops. Perfect. Ready when you are.
Okay.
Awesome, starting.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rock, co-founder of Rethink Finance. We're on the mission to transform the asset management industry by minimizing trust assumptions and eliminating intermediaries. Since 2020, asset managers lost over 20 billion of their investors' money. With Rethink, investors can stay in control of their assets and delegate management through defining specific permissions. Managers, on the other hand, can bypass intermediaries and execute any strategies across any EVM environment on behalf of their investors and earn fees. Now, imagine you have an edge on the market. You can earn fees by letting others tap into that edge. All you need to do is think about what assets and protocols you want to interact with, and Rethink will take care of custody, administration, and get you the right permissions to execute the strategy on behalf of your investors. Now, if you want to change your strategy in the future, the only thing you need to do is to create a proposal and need to get your investors buy-in, basically, to change your permissions. In February, we managed to onboard first professional asset manager, even without having a front end. And this is where we knew that we were onto something great. In the last 8 weeks, we have been interacting with selected group of professional asset managers, and we have been managed to onboard 1.3 million assets in our closed alpha. We have been also talking to organizations with collectively over 200 million idle assets in their treasuries, and we're actively connecting them with our managers. Responses have been really amazing, and we expect to hit 15 million early in our closed beta. Think and me met 4 years ago. We were both full-time anonymous founders and contributors in DeFi space. We were also responsible for design and implementation of yield strategies for a DAO treasury. And this is where we quickly realized that multi-sig is not really decentralized, and it's also not efficient. So it led us on a journey of discovering alternatives. And we came across 3 interesting insights. So the first insight was really around the competition. We realized that all other asset management protocols are extremely limited, and they really need custom contracts to be able to interact with new DeFi protocols. They also have Oracle dependencies, and this together really prevented them to be able to deploy to multiple new EVM networks that are popping up very frequently. So this was a complete deal breaker for us. We needed something way more flexible, and so did a lot of other asset managers we have been talking to during this time. The second insight was technology. So we came across roles modifier, which is a safe module that enables delegated execution without really the need for new contracts or new interfaces. That was a mind-blowing discovery for us. And we even seen this in action. So Karpatki is a single asset management provider using this exact setup, and they have managed to attract over 2 billion assets from big data treasuries to manage assets on behalf of them. And they're using this in a setup for separately managed accounts. Now, with this insights, we really saw an opportunity to transform the separately managed account setup into on-chain investment vehicles where multiple people pull together capital and delegate execution through governance. Rethink is really connecting battle-tested contracts with trustless administration. It means that we calculate automatically the net asset value of positions, settle deposit and redemption requests, and also issue or distribute fees. And we do that all through intuitive user experience. Now, assuming 50 basis points on assets under technology and 50 basis points on closed volume, we are projecting 75 million of net yearly revenue just going after idle DAO treasuries. We're not including retail investors and institutions here. What we're looking for is 3 million at 30 million fully diluted valuation through a soft agreement. And we are looking to use those resources for our engineers to build V2. We're looking to increase security through multiple security audits, bug bounty programs. We're also looking to do a massive legal audit and provide legal wrappers for certain use cases. We aim to launch a token and decentralize, and then focus on hypergrowth. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just in time. And now we actually have the floor open for questions. And we also have your co-founder on this call, right? Sinke is also here, so in case.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I think it's especially interesting, because I heard from a lot of investors that they say, well, remote teams is difficult. These founders met for the first time at Token 2049 last week. How was it actually to meet your co-founder for the first time in person, Rock and Sinke?
That was an interesting experience. I mean, we got to know each other pretty well. Fun fact, we even worked together for 3 years without even showing faces to each other. So we were both anonymous. And we showed ourselves faces when we started to work on this project. And we finally got to meet in person last week. Yeah.
I have a question, guys.
Yes, please.
Sure.
Hey, sorry, my video. 1 second. I don't know how to. Doesn't matter. Sorry. Here we go. Hey, Rock. Good presentation, man. I see the product developed quite well from the beginnings.
Yes.
From the early stages. So the plan is obviously you have to launch a token, right? And the token will be used for what exactly? I'm trying to understand the tokenomics and stuff. So
yeah. So it's going to have multiple purposes. The first and foremost and the most important is it's going to control the contracts related to the protocol and any upgrades. So we want the protocol to be community owned. It's also going to control the treasury and resources of the DAO. And then we are planning to add additional incentives because what we want to do is really scale the platform. And although we are completely limitless, it's really important to simplify user experience. And we do that with libraries. Currently, we're generating libraries ourselves. Even though people can contribute to that, we want to create incentives for users to contribute to that. And we would like to use token for some of those incentives. We have been talking with Claros on for example, slashing mechanisms and so on for advanced token economics. So yeah, those are some of the thoughts that we have. Also, we want to distribute ownership to our managers. So this is another reason for the token. And we all want to capture value and distribute value to our token holders. So kind of balance out the self-pressure and utility basically.
But the tokenomics you have not, you haven't structured it yet, right?
Correct. At this stage, we're solely focusing on the product and the value for the users. We have a couple of ideas, but we also want to validate them with the managers and community.
It's natural, right? That people invest in SAF at a pretty high valuation, like you indicated. then obviously they care about the TGE and then especially tokenomics, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm happy to provide more information about our thoughts around the token economics.
Sure. I just wanted to know where you are at the stage.
Yeah.
All right, great. But look, I think you're onboarding clients and such was a good thing already. So, you know, okay, that was it for Nick. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think we have time for one more question, like around 90 seconds. So if anybody has...
I have a question. What regulatory framework are you operating under? Assets from which geographies can you trade, and from which jurisdictions can they invest in, particularly with the new DeFi laws of the regulation coming in place?
Yes, so when it comes to tech, we're able to support any EVM environment. We're building on top of Safe, so we have same constraints as Safe has. When it comes to legal, we're not really in... well, at this point, we're not really suggesting any like legal frameworks to anyone. We're allowing managers to figure this out on themselves, but we're working with several providers and connecting them, for example, with Autonomous, so that they can figure out the good legal structure for themselves. Of course, the goal for us is to be able to accept investors and operate globally, basically. That is the goal for us. And this is also part of the reason why we need the funding, because we want to invest into more comprehensive legal audits and provide better guidelines for the asset managers we are onboarding.
I think that one interesting example we started, I mean, it's going to be a Swiss entity, Rethink Finance. So we started our first fund, the Soonami Alpha Fund, as a simple partnership in Switzerland. If there are less than 20 investors, it is, easy to set it up in Switzerland.
Okay.
Yeah, but you won't allow you to promote, for instance, assets which are, for instance, American or British under SEC or FDMC. So you're exposing yourself if you're promoting assets outside Switzerland, unless even if you're Switzerland, you would need to have a Swiss license.
We are not promoting any assets. So we're just the technology that allows investors to collect capital, and they are responsible for selecting the right assets themselves, basically.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And if you have more questions, we are definitely happy to connect you to our teams, to get them answered. So thanks for the pitch, Rock, and thanks to everybody who asked the question. One question, is everybody getting the poll? Is everybody able to see the poll? Okay, that's good. That's good. Now we have Audit 1. Adrian, could you please start sharing your screen and then...
We'll just wait for 30 seconds for people to finish polling.
Okay, sorry. Thanks. So you can just be ready, Adrian.
Okay, I will already start sharing my screen.
Yeah, that should be okay, Nikita, right?
Yeah, I'm ending the poll.
Okay, cool. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Great. So I will wait for the time to start, right?
Yeah, it's start. You can start now.
I can start now. Okay. Hello, everyone. Great to see so many familiar faces. I'm Adrian, CEO of Audit 1, and we are an IT auditing and cyber assurance platform. So what is actually the problem that we are tackling? Innovative companies are insecure and non-compliant. And out of 50 companies that we audited, all had security and compliance issues, literally every company. And the Web3 and AI sectors are merging and growing exponentially. However, also their risks are compounding. So why should you listen to us? We have actually already had a lot of clients that we audited. We tripled our revenue from 2022 to 2023. And I'm also pretty confident that we can triple it again, maybe even quadruple it. We have completed over 50 audits since the launch of end of 2022. And we are the largest auditor platform in the EU with over 600 auditors. Now we are a team with over 10 people, 3 founders and a few senior hires. we are currently actually focusing a lot on the sales department. So just a few months ago, it was just me doing sales and a junior. And now we have one senior, 2 juniors that we hired, and actually focus a lot also on marketing. So as you can see here now with the audits are working operationally really well. We are also focusing on the tooling a lot with AI, code visualizers, and are also developing our own insurance protocol. So if we compare auditing old versus new, we think there are a lot of problems and inefficiencies with the old auditing. Especially the incentives are misaligned because people, they get their salary, but they're actually not rewarded for finding any issues or basically, clarifying it. And so what we do is we provide a base payment to the auditors, but also a performance-based payment on top. In this way, we can actually also make sure that we have so in the first phase, we have a competitive effort because every auditor is submitting findings individually, but then also a collaborative effort where we peer review the findings of each auditor and then ultimately have an audit report with all false positives eliminated. We also have a decentralized approach and we have experts from all over the world. And so our audits find more issues than most competitors for less costs, while saving also almost half of the time for auditors. So how do we make money? We have especially our security and compliance audits that for now take up 90% of the revenue. On average, they cost 15,000 with a margin that we keep of 25 to 35%. We also have our tooling currently in alpha stage, the AI audit assistance that is already able to identify 50 to 70% of the issues that it was trained on by our own auditors and open source data. And then also developing other tools that we will later also commercialize as a SaaS. Our insurance protocol will probably go live in 3 to 6 months. And this is then something where we will have pre-deployment the audits, are able to assess the risk, and then post-deployment, we are able to provide bug bounties and the insurance. Here you can see the auditor's performance. So almost every 50 lines, we find an issue. We have identified now even over 500 vulnerabilities. 15% of all those issues are critical. And we have a client retention of 98%. So just one client that actually not came back. These are our clients or a few clients and partners. You might know of Aurora, IOTA. We've been also working with Near now, which are quite known. Our investors are Hightech Gründerfonds and of course Soonami and a few angels that we have. Yeah, that's actually it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think like everybody prepared for a 4-minute pitch.
Yeah.
And then that's how we have like the 5-minute time. So, okay, we can start the Q&A now. Adrian, thank you for your pitch. And you can start the Q&A timer, Saksham.
Adrian, hi.
Hey.
Hey, man. We met at the beginning when you just started the project.
We
I'd
did.
like to see how you solved some of those problems that I encountered, which was the human resource aspect of audits at the beginning. So I see you've discovered good incentive structures for auditors to come on board and scale that up. So it was good. What are you trying to achieve now? You're trying to raise money, or what is the because there wasn't really a slide on it, so I was kind of like.
Yeah, so we started discussions again with investors, especially investors that we talked to in the previous round. In 3 to 6 months, we are targeting a new round. It's a C plus, 1.5 to 2 million, most likely.
Okay. And when you said you want to launch your own insurance protocol, where you want to deploy all the audits initially, etc., can you just elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, so it will be especially something that we are also talking with current traditional insurance providers. So they would have also the liquidity and the compliance aspect all set. And what we are doing then is we are providing the infrastructure and basically have the front end for it. And then we will upsell also the insurance to our existing portfolio, right? So of course, it will also be potentially available for other projects, but we see a lot of potential and validation also for the projects that we have been auditing so far.
And so when you provide an audit, you need some kind of attestation, right? And I guess you need some sort of insurance for that as well, right? Because once you are testing that the audit is done and all is in order and something wouldn't be, and there's a claim of some sort somewhere, right? How are you, I mean, what's your insurance cover on that currently, and how are you going about those?
Yeah, so currently the industry standard is you're doing your best as an auditor, but you're not liable for anything. Of course, if you're like really neglecting all like standards and you didn't do your job properly at all, you may have a risk. And of course, the biggest risk is the reputation, which of course can always harm. But we are hugely different to our competitors because the reputation we designed on the auditor level and not on the audit firm level, which means out of those auditors that are always part of those pools, we are very transparent who those people are, and those like usually 4 auditors, they are all basically being rewarded, and their experience is a bit gamified, so they have a ranking at audit 1. And so this way also, if something happened, we would exactly know who the auditors are, and we can also always filter the good auditors from the bad auditors this way.
And you don't foresee any scalability issues to get more auditors on board, et cetera, as you kind of grow?
Yeah, so for now, our supply is really perfect. Like we could at least have 3 times, 4 times the audits that we are currently having. That is why we're also now focusing much on the sales, because all the operational side is really well set. If we grow 3 times, 4 times again from this point, there might be an issue, but I think it's all solvable. Yeah, not really have been to this point yet.
Good. All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, we have another 60, 70 seconds for another question. If not, then we can move to the polling. Nikita?
I've just launched the poll.
Yeah, so we're going to wait a little because I think people were not able to answer, all of you were not able to answer. I encourage that please give an answer, even if it's no or yes, because that really helps us and our founders.
One question, if I may, while we're waiting for the poll result.
Sure.
It seems like doing great presentation, but it seems like you're stretching in 2 directions, right? A protocol, a platform, SaaS, etc. And let's assume it's a marketplace for auditors. How do you try to balance both of that? It can just tear you apart a little bit, right? To try to pull in both directions at the same time. Or if you had to emphasize one of the 2, which one would you do?
Yeah, so the tooling is really something that enhances the auditor's capabilities. So we are not so much focusing on it, although we see a huge potential in the AI audit assistance, because this way we can have 2 ways how it could work. Either we will reduce the number of auditors that we need per audit, or we can actually just sell it to auditors, even auditors outside our platform. So this is something where we have partially resources allocated. And the insurance protocol, we are not building something from scratch. We are just forking an existing protocol that has been working well, which is robust, which had many audits, and we are just slightly modifying it according to our needs. And then we'll just upsell basically to the clients that did audit with us, because in the end, an insurance needs to assess the risk to be able to define premiums. And we think we can assess the risk the best because we are auditing it and see the technical risk behind it.
Okay, thanks.
That helps. Okay, thank you so much. Nikita, you can stop the poll. And okay, 100% people answered. That's amazing. Now, may I please request Malcolm from Never Not Play to share your screen and also unmute yourself.
just for the record, these two were the ventures from prior investments. So now you're seeing the ventures from the current cohort, which most of them also, or some of them also started during the cohort.
Awesome. So I'm starting the timer now.
Okay,
Yes.
great, thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Malcolm, and we are Never Not Play, a gamer lifestyle company. So we have identified a problem. Millennials are the largest gamer segment, but 65% of millennials claim they have less time for gaming, and we expect this to rise as this segment ages. Number one reason, work and career, followed by family and parenting. So that's why we value every second of play. We envision a world where gamers with less time can still enjoy the feeling of winning, progression, and trading. We aim to create a new kind of game that you can enjoy without constantly being glued to your screen. We call it the sports strategy card game. It takes just 5 minutes to get started. After that, you'll receive updates as frequently as you like. Log in whenever you have a moment to collect your rewards and adjust your teams. So our first concept is codenamed Future Sport. It's a wildly innovative take on trading card games, fantasy sports, the little bit of World of Warcraft feel, and a splash of Magic the Gathering thrown in as well. It's set in a post-apocalyptic future, and you are an enterprising team coach driving the revival of sports. So we take real-world athlete stats and add it to your cards. Adding the player to your card also brings in their real-world actions. Your collection will play while you're away in this and future game modes we release. So jump in and create your first team in just 5 minutes, or select your favorite sport and a player and let the algorithm build a starter team for you. Once your teams are created, championships happen in real time 24/7. The sports all have different play styles, allowing player expression. Items and abilities add progression and more meaningful decisions. So now your team will continue to play and compete in championships. Pop in to optimize your team, collect your loot, or buy and sell cards and items. So now we'll do a quick demo. So okay, so we have had a fantastic response so far. We have seen evidence that the core of our game is solid, and players are eager for us to add in new features. 111 million gamers and sports fans in the USA and Canada. And that's just our initial target audience. In the USA and Canada, approximately 60% of gamers also follow sports. Our game will be monetized with free-to-play mechanics like consumables and speed-ups, royalties, everything from cards to crafting materials will be tradable in the open marketplace, and Battle Pass for the most committed coaches. We also want to explore paid game entry for high-end championships and more valuable rewards for players. We are targeting Q4 of 2025 for a full global launch and hope to reach an average revenue per user of $8 on 50,000 DAU by that time. So we have a really awesome game development team with over 15 years of experience. I myself have worked 7 years in mobile free-to-play, launching over 5 games and acquired over 3 million installs through paid marketing. Simon is our prototype dev and expert on branding, design, UI, and UX. Luke manages social media and our early community. And having shipped 30+ games, Dylan is on game design, product, and company culture. So join us if you believe games can still be fun without spending hours rating and grinding. Thank you.
Thank you, Malcolm. And I think everybody who's like stopping 30 seconds, 20 seconds before, we can add this time in your Q&A
Yeah.
round.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's do that. So we are open for questions.
Maybe I can start, Malcolm. I'm a great proponent of your cause. And well done on the presentation. I'm curious, and maybe others here are curious as well. Gaming is a tough space to break into. What is your sort of go-to-market strategy and try to get as many users, obviously, as possible? What have you explored so far?
Yeah, sure. So great question. Thanks, Duncan. We actually just closed our first grant. It's from a new blockchain. So one of the ideas we had, at least for very early stages, and like beta stages to just start getting some traction going, is a SocialFi campaign where we reward people for coming in, trying the game, sharing it with their friends, and we can essentially take some of that token that we're going to be receiving as a grant and use that to incentivize users to help spread the word, at least in the Web3 initial launch period. However, we don't want to focus only on Web3 either. So we see Web3 as kind of like the proving grounds and the launch pad. And then from there, we want to move to the Web2 audience. And in that case, we'll be looking more towards partnering with social media influencers and also doing paid marketing, which is my area of expertise. So advertising, essentially.
Cool, thank you.
We still have a few minutes.
Yes.
Just for the record, this deal will be available at sort of our standard valuation of 2 million for investors in the cohort round. So the usual deal that we suggest here is 9% for the founders, 425K, and for the investors, it's 6% for 125K, and the 3 remaining percent go to Soonami as a platform for providing this opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, Nikita, we can open the poll.
Okay.
And I think till then, Shachendra from NetCPO, probably you can already start sharing your screen or just keep it ready. Okay. We are just going to give it a little more time.
I'll just come in with a comment which really echoes the previous question, really. This is a really hard sector to get investment for in Europe, and it's make sure you got expertise, people who've got expertise raising investment in your team. It's really hard if you're not part of that sector. The gaming sector is super hard. Typically a lot of money comes from within the industry itself, more CVCs than angels or VCs.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's end the poll, Nikita, and let's start with NetCPO.
Okay.
Awesome. So I'll start the timer now.
Yes, please.
Hello, everyone. Myself, Sachin, and I'm going to be pitching you NetCPO. And our platform is more like creating more gateways. So there are no more gatekeepers for opening a borderless web. So currently, if you see, the current internet infrastructure is riddled with a lot of issues and limitations. Businesses face issues building censor-free apps and constantly have to battle cyber threats. Users, whenever they are traveling or even in their homes, they're feeling insecure because of the censored public Wi-Fi that they have to use. And also when we are trying to embrace sharing economy, current rewards in the DePIN ecosystem are not very reliable, or should I say, provide an intermittent ecosystem for networks. So to counter this, we create our own DVPN protocol, which also enables on top of the Wi-Fi network. So what it does is it gives you unparalleled privacy, pseudo-anonymous identity while accessing the internet, and it comes with Wi-Fi for seamless connectivity. So this VPN network is geared towards gamers, remote workers, entertainment industry, or even businesses working in either digital nomad space or smart home space. So users and businesses alike can use our protocol SDKs and make sure that they are never censored either on the value-driven side. So since starting our protocol, we've got connected to 500 plus connected wallets. We were able to verify or validate our tech from ETC to Soonami through Hack Singapore. We have won all of them and proven our tech. We have also gotten access to Peak ecosystem for marketing and grant outreach program. We have grown to 12 plus partners. The last couple of months were phenomenal for us. We were able to get access to Aptos experience in Seoul. We were able to get into Deep in Alliance. Also, we were part of Singapore Token 2049, showcasing our routers. We also had our own private event where we showcased our incentivized beta network program. We've got grown to 3,500 plus VPN client connections, and this number is going to be growing up once we sign up a few gaming and social fi companies into our ecosystem. So our target market is currently about 100 million, where we want to offer dedicated VPN based firewall solutions and through the use of AI bots. The reason why we want to act now is because there is a rise in privacy concerns and internet censorship, and a lot of companies are looking into it. While a lot of users on the deep inside are looking to monetize their unused bandwidth, and there are much more scalability and growth processes in this particular system. So why us? Because just having a DeepIn narrative is not going to be enough. And also, if you look into other companies, none of them offer split tunneling, which means you can use VPN for only certain apps that you want to connect to. We are also enabling ZK proofs because we are completely a true protocol, just like how Ethereum and Solana have done with programmable money. We want to do the same with cybersecurity. We have DWiFi integration and we have roaming firewall, which has never been done in the decentralized space. We also have event-driven bandwidth allocation, which allows you to connect to specific nodes when you're currently accessing use cases like streaming or gaming, which is not possible with other DVPN solution out there. So our go-to-market strategy is around free and tiered through subscription. And we also are looking into B2B partnerships where we also get paid for licensing and making sure that they use our SDK. And there is revenue going to be going to node operators who are going to give us the required momentum to make sure that we are available in every region possible for users to route their internet speed connectivity from. So currently our focus is more on the mainnet launch and token, which is going to be coming in about next year once we have enough community and momentum. We also have pledged to offer $50,000 to all our node operator, which is going to be matched by Manta Network. So they are currently supporting our node reward operation. So what is going to happen is people who are running our node, their rewards are going to be matched through Manta Network team. And also we are trying to go to multiple ecosystems out there. I'm supported by Anish and Ashish, who are leading the industry with business and partnership, and Anish is our CSO, who is going to take care of cybersecurity requirements. We have Charlene and others helping us developing and designing, and our strategic advisor is Harsh. So here's the demo. So to run our node, you pretty much have to go and set up a particular CLI command, and it automatically sets up a static VPN access for you. And once you have that, you can go to our browser web app, and you will be able to see the current node bandwidth that have gone through and which region you're running in, how many nodes are currently connected to it. And also, once you have to use the VPN, you can actually go and get a subscription to the VPN through buying an NFT. Once you have got an NFT, you will be able to create a subscription, and then you will be able to connect to and see the download speed. So that's pretty much for our protocol, and I'm happy to take any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Shachendra. So now we are open to questions.
I personally love that project because I just moved to Mallorca and all my centralized VPN offerings do not work to show me Champions League in the German language in Spain. But Shachendra helps me exactly for that use case, which I think is alone $1 million market.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Shachin, hi, Michelle here. I know you're trying to move away a little bit from the DeepIn narrative only, but it's a DeepIn. anything that has decentralized nodes where you're offering a service, whether it's a mobile, or in your case, VPN access, lives off network effects. So the thing, I mean, you will be successful the more nodes you will have deployed, right? So I think the whole incentive structure, et cetera, matters the most. And I think for your project, the actual tokenomics will be probably the most crucial factor to have you succeed, despite your technical capabilities. And I'm sure it's all working amazingly fine. The market is massive. I mean, if you just look at emerging markets in its own right, you probably know that very well. But I think at the end, it's going to come down to people offering their devices and being incentivized for them. And also one aspect I think is very important that maybe not people are talking about. People don't have that many devices. And they've asked to deploy their devices for many purposes. You know, one is for storage, the other is for compute, the other is going to be VPN, the others. So the question is, how is this whole cross-pollination of a hardware device, right, play into this? Because I think a lot of people are not talking about it. They're not even thinking that far. But at the end, it's basics. It's really hardware devices that are offered, right? And you get rewarded for offering your spare capacity, right? So it's an interesting maybe thought to maybe see how you view it.
Sure. So yeah, just my two takes on this. First, you don't have to buy a device because the most problem in the DePIN ecosystem, I find like the demand is yet to catch up to the supply side. And secondly, DePIN becoming a closed ecosystem and everybody's trying to offer their devices. So what we aim to do is like we want to partner with companies who would be more likely to sponsor the VPN for their users. So it's more from the business standpoint because we are more like a protocol and we don't want to come up another hardware manufacturing company who have to kind of like sell you a hardware to make sure that you earn reward or use a secure internet. Secondly, we are cloud first. And of course, being cloud native offers you can run our node on cloud. You can even run on your computer currently to kind of like route the interconnect, route the VPN traffic. Secondly, on the protocol side, we also have Wi-Fi integration, so you can run our node on existing devices because all we care about is the spare bandwidth. Secondly, on the side where businesses get to use our product is more likely to not only just to make sure that their users are safe, but also their employees. So it can be also be used in their private data security or for their own privacy details talking, like anywhere they have to use a standard VPN, they can switch to our VPN without having to go through any hassles. So on that part, of course, we see a lot of metric coming in, a lot of users, and of course, a lot of revenue coming in from the business side as well. By being business focused, we aim to kind of bridge the gap between having a lot of nodes to kind of like support our narrative.
You need to incentivize people to do that. I'm not even talking them purchasing hardware devices. They're using the existing infrastructure at home that they have, right? So you need to create an incentive structure where they want to be able to do that, provide that, and there's going to be a tokenomics.
Correct. But even before they use that to make that, to give their users, because I mean, if you are running our node, then somebody else have to pay you to use it and pay as you go model to really scale in the start. So that's why the businesses will be running it and their users are going to be able to get access their games or their applications. And from there, and that's why we were able to get into a partnership with Alibaba, because a lot of businesses will be running our node to make sure that their users and their employees are not having issues using our application.
I understand. Fair enough. It's good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we start the poll, and then if there is still another question, we can do that while the poll is going on. Nikita, we can start. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one comment from my side. I think in the beginning, I compared it to Helium, which is more a decentralized Wi-Fi offering, where you obviously need that network a lot more than in a VPN surrounding. So there, you know, I as a customer watching Champions League in the German language in Spain, would you also be able to provide, you know, access? So I think it's it's not only a one-way street here.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Okay. Did we get the poll?
I didn't get the poll.
Okay. I think Nikita is figuring that out.
Yeah, I think the poll failed to launch. Just a second.
Okay. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Mm. So next is your club, Felipe. Yeah, maybe you can be ready, Felipe, till poll's launched. And Felipe can be ready till the poll is
Okay.
being filled. Yes. We'll give this like a few seconds. Please, I encourage you to answer in whether it's yes, no. Maybe next time we also put maybe.
Percentages.
Yes. Okay. I think we can end the poll, Nikita. And we can,
Ended.
yeah, cool. So let's start with your club.
Yeah. So once you are ready, I'll just start the time.
Yeah, you shared your screen, Felipe, and then you unshared it.
Yeah.
Yes, can you see it?
No, not now, but I could see it earlier.
Just a second.
Should we come back to you?
Yes, can go ahead.
Okay. True call, Slava. Slava, you're muted in case you're talking. Okay. Then maybe Zen Garden, Pranav.
Yeah, hi. Okay, I am ready to go.
Yeah, sorry to
If you
put you
can
on
switch
the
off.
spot. Yes.
No worries at all, no worries at all.
Okay.
I just
Go
share
ahead.
my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes. Perfect. So should I start the timer, Pranav?
Yeah.
Yep. Starting.
Have you ever felt, okay, I just started.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Have you ever felt a tornado of emotions in your mind? Have you ever experienced inability in making quick decisions? Mental health is in crisis worldwide. Billions of workdays and trillions of dollars in productivity are lost because of the struggle to manage the whirlwind of emotions, leading to poor decision making, strained relationships, and a sense of isolation. Untreated mental health issues are estimated to cost India alone $1.03 trillion by 2030. This is where we step in. Zen, our AI, has been trained using cognitive distortions, cognitive triangle, as well as Socratic questions. Zen Garden is India's first on demand, non judgmental mental health platform made even for beyond. Here, I would like to show you our web app. Zen, our AI, is the first interface for all the users. We start a session by clicking, and then we can have a conversation that goes both ways. Once we are done, we can end the session and we can also access the personalized reports. This is exactly like Inside Out. We link emotions to experiences on the dashboard. We offer users the insights to the user's personality and emotional landscape. We also provide access to licensed psychologists worldwide on this interface. We cater to psychological organizations looking to reduce their workload and individuals facing emotional distress. Early traction shows a strong engagement. 95% of our mailing list subscribers are actively suggesting features. and we have conducted user interviews with 100% interest rate in our platform. We have already established strong and resourceful collaborations with the ZHEC project from India and Psychopractice all the way from Bosnia in Europe. Our Instagram page is also growing at a staggering 20.9% per day, with an engagement rate of 20%, which is far above platform average. We will charge for premium insights, automated report generation for organizations, client connection fees, premium games, and in-app purchases. 5 revenue models. Psychologists and organizations will also be able to advertise on the platform, but obviously as our user base grows. We've successfully completed the automation of the Big 5 personality tests report generation. We are currently automating the 16PF personality test and will charge psychological organizations for other reports, example MMPI, that we will automate for them. Here's a demo of our Big 5 personality test. You can click the start button to start this test. This test actually has 50 questions. I'll quickly go through the questions and answer them. There are 50 questions based on which I, as a person, will be assessed on 5 personalities or characteristics. These characteristics also give this test its name of Ocean. Once I'm done with this test, I'll be able to see the report. So I'll quickly answer all these questions and I'll be able to submit this test. Here's the report. I can see the marks and I can also assess myself based on various characteristics and information that has been provided on the same platform. Competitors like Visa and MindPeers, our comparison with them stands us out because we have more comprehensive data-driven dashboard, AI assistance, and stress-relieving games, all at a competitive pricing. We partner with top psychological institutes and universities to provide stress relief solutions for students. We also want to leverage top YouTube and Instagram influencers to establish Zen Garden as the go-to app for data-driven career and mental health support. Founder-led credibility on LinkedIn will attract psychologists and counselors, driving signups through our targeted outreach. Our collaborating partners already confirm an access to 600 plus monthly users. Therefore, we expect to be profitable right from the first month of our release, which is January. With our soon-to-be released mood tracking feature for women during menstruation, which, by the way, we got from reviews that our engaging subscribers have submitted to us, by 2026, we aim to reach 100K users with domestic expansion. In 2027, we'll scale internationally, entering the US and Canada markets, also the biggest markets of mental health. Our mission is to be everyone's emotional headquarters. So invest in the future of mental health with Zen Garden, where 32% of your investment will be directly spent in R&D. Join us in revolutionizing mental health in India and beyond. Let's seize this opportunity together. Thank you.
Just in time. What a refreshing, noble startup. Yeah, great topic as well. So yes, and very energetic pitch. You really added some life, with your enthusiasm. Okay, so
Thank you so much.
pleasure. So who has questions? We have the floor open for questions.
Pranav, you're obviously going to be generating a ton of data with what you're doing. And by the way, thank you for your pitch, which is both, great for you and also a regulatory challenge. How are you going to operate to maximize the value you get from the data for yourself and your users whilst, steering clear of any regulatory hurdles?
Right. Thank you, Mark, for the question. We do have a legal department in our team right from the starting. So that actually helps us comply with GDPR and HIPAA guidelines. Since we are generating a ton of data, even now when we have not yet gone live with our application, we still receive a lot of data from the psychological organizations and users. So currently, we are using that data to justify what next features are we planning to launch in our application. And based on that only, we came up with our roadmap as well with the mood tracking feature. We are currently building a defensible moat so that we can differentiate ourselves from the other competitors. And that's how we are using the data currently in our application. But our data definitely, which we are receiving, we are storing that anonymously and securely. So based on these two characteristics, we will be using the data in the future as well, while complying with the guidelines in the best way possible so that it benefits our clients directly.
Thanks, Pranav. And just it's really interesting that you picked menstruation as the next kind of vertical you're tackling. Are you going direct to consumer with this, or selling through those organizations that you cited?
This is the feature which we are providing directly to the consumers. We're not going through the psychological organizations, but while developing it, we are going through the psychological organizations and the psychologists, which we currently already have in our team, the psychologists. So we are developing it by their understanding and by their expertise, and we are providing it directly to the users.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if there are no further questions, we can open the poll, please.
I just have one small question.
Yes.
So, Pranav, while starting, you mentioned that you want to focus Indian market. Any specific reason why just India? Because this could be globally accessible to across all the different people.
Absolutely. For that, I would use charity begins at home. So since most of the people in the team, they're also Indian, we know Indian market really well. So that's how we started with India. But definitely, as I also included in the pitch, this is not just meant for India. It's meant for the world, for beyond. So India is just our first market. We are also catering to Bosnia because that's where our organization is in the starting itself. But we'll be moving on to the global markets like USA and Canada really soon. So it's a product meant for for the entire world, not just for India. That's
And
where.
in terms of while we ask like the kind of backend where you have the questionnaires and all, is it different for Indian market and different across region, or it would be same across the platform?
So usually these psychometric tests, I think you're asking for that as well, that itself, right? Yeah. So usually the questions are mostly similar. They are used to assess the person's mental state. Basically, whatever for example, Big Five. So that assesses a person's mental state and categorizes into 5 characteristics. So it is very specific in terms of what it's doing, but the questions are for everyone. We just will have to change the language so that everyone is able to see and answer the questions appropriately. So it would, as of now, we have not faced any complication with the foreign people who have taken this test. But if we feel that there are some differences which currently our psychological organizations and psychologists have not really stated, so we will be open to providing that as well. But it is mostly one test for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you can end the poll, Nikita. And now Felipe, your club. I hope your screen works now. And thanks, Pranav, for answering all our questions.
Thank you so much.
Keep the energy up.
Thank you, for sure.
Hey, Ron, can you see my screen?
Yes, perfectly. It's visible.
Thank you. Yes, I hope you are doing great. I'm going to present your club to you. Our mission with your club is to empower global learning through collaboration and innovation. Your club is a social network platform that aims to achieve that. So we see now the rise of learning in the creator economy. And this new way of learning is not only digital, but very niche specific and collective, where you can interact with your creator and the community itself. The digital educator is the intersection between the creator and the educator. They basically use digital channels to share knowledge, and their ecosystem is composed by a social media platform where they create the digital community, and then they are able to monetize their info products, meaning ebooks, online courses, and so on. But there is still a gap in the existing platforms, and this gap is although this market is booming, the creator economy is booming, they still face challenges to diversify their revenue, especially when it comes to educational content. And this is because the existing social network platforms are not tailored for learning, so you cannot sell info products directly there. You cannot issue certification. There is a lot of distracting content. And on the other hand, the e-learning platforms do enable the commercialization of these info products, but you are not able to build a digital community there. We offer the solution. We have the collective engagement in our platform for the digital learning. Our team is composed by experts in the traditional education system and people experts in the creator economy. So far, what we have reached, our platform we launched in May this year, and we are growing our user base engagement in the platform, and we started generating revenue within the platform. We have a community in different social media platforms and partnership with different digital educators that help us grow. Our product, we have social network interactions as any social media platform, but focus on education. We also enable the creation of digital communities that we call clubs. Here we have an example of a club for medicine. They share content related to breast cancer in this example here. And we also enable the commercialization of these educational contents in the platform. We are integrated with Stripe and other payment provider. Besides of that, we facilitate the e-learning journey and the issuance of certificates that are blockchain based. On the market opportunity, we are going to focus initially in Brazil because there people are already used to purchase info products. The market is big and they have expressive potential growth. Our strategy is to expand our product offering over the time and also expand the jurisdictions that we are going to focus. Initially, we are going to focus on language specific aspects. We are going to focus on Brazil, Latam, and then we are going to expand to other regions until we become full scale. Our strategy for this first round to reach these 40,000 users and 200,000 revenue is to focus on user acquisition and viral growth. Now that we have the product already working, we are going to enhance the scalability of the product. We do this every 2 weeks, and we are going to build a community. And yes, one commitment that we have at this stage is that the co-founders, we are not going to have remuneration for this round, and we are going to focus full-time in the project because we really believe in the future of this project. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. We are open for questions.
How's your Telegram integration going? I think last time you presented some numbers here.
Telegram or what do you mean? Our outreach on Instagram?
Oh, sorry. Then I had that in the wrong. I thought that you were launching something on Telegram as well.
No, but we launched the blockchain-based certificates. There are some digital educators yes, that not only the traditional creators want to use our platform, but also academics and people from the traditional education segment that want to gain this outreach in our platform.
What's your next big challenge, Felipe?
We see, yeah, so far we have invested a lot on the product, and our growth has been almost only organically. Now we build a growing strategy, and to leverage this, we plan to invest on some strategy to get the user acquisition viral and yes, expand our user base and our revenue.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay, so let's move to the poll if there are no further questions. I think some people had to leave, but we are going to send the recording to everybody and also maybe a survey. Slava, can you please share
Yeah.
your screen already?
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So, hi, I'm Slava. Thank you for opportunity to present. To recall, fostering trust.
Wait a second. Yeah, Nikita, please end the poll, and Saksham, please start the timer.
Okay, so I'm starting the timer now.
Yes,
Yep,
now
you can
please
start.
start. Yeah.
To recall, fostering trust. Ask yourself, have you already lied or hidden your emotions behind words today? Emotions are hidden. Communication lacks emotional clarity, and people lie. Deception becomes a human trait. Trust and safety challenges in virtual interactions. Current methods of deception detection and emotion recognition have significant drawbacks. Almost people rely on self-observation with low attention to details and desire to believe and see what they want. Professional services could be inaccurate and stressful. Our solution is TrueCall, AI-based online conference deception detection and emotion recognition tool utilizing multimodal machine learning model and trained on modern scientific works and accessible from everywhere. TrueCall AI performs real-time analysis of micro-expressions, macro-expressions, general face positions, head positions, blinking gestures, and give statements about emotional landscape, call attention rate, and signs about truthfulness. Trained on open source and our own data sets, our accuracy of deception detection currently is higher than 60% and increasing with continuous learning. Our tool compatible with most popular video conference software and market is really huge. More than 700 million users daily. Many of them definitely want to uncover insights that we can provide. To enhance trust in both B2C and B2B sectors, firstly, we are targeting on B2C. Online dating and social media users engage with our technology in fun and in interactive way, and we boost transparency in personal communications. And once we get accuracy higher than 75%, we will offer our tool to B2B, to marketing agencies to give insights about preferences and reactions of customers, HR departments to help in evaluation processes, corporate and consulting to enhance decision-making and corporate trust. Our go-to-market strategy included validated technology during open beta, launching market campaigns, refining a pricing strategy, and establishing partnership with online dating and entertainment platforms, and go to B2B expansion through strategic partnerships for long-term growth. We already invited more than 1,000 adopters to our alpha and received positive feedbacks and several letters of intents. We offer a pay-for-use model. It's flexible, scalable, and cost-effectiveness. Among our competitors are traditional services and AI solutions that offer some of our features. Our comprehensive approach gives us competitive advantage, and we are sure to capture a strong niche. We will reach 100,000 freemium users in 3 months and 20K paying users in a year. Also, we, in our roadmap is developing browser plugin and voice analyzer. And we are looking for 125K to continue better to capture the market and to increase our accuracy. We have strong motivated team experience both on technical and business sides, supported by professional polygraph examiners, profilers, and researchers. To prioritize responsible AI development and usage and aim to comply AI and privacy regulations and ensure a high level of security. Please look through our beta and join us. Thank you.
Thanks, Slava. I like lie2me.ai. That's quite fun. Definitely the playful encourages people to try. A question from me: how long do you think it would take you to reach a higher level of accuracy? Have you had an estimate of your thoughts?
We will, when we will get enough resources for expand our development team, it will take in a year to get 75%. It's our goal.
And do you think it's a barrier for you entering B2B stage, or you think that B2B is achievable before that?
We think it's achievable before that in through marketing agencies and marketing industry.
Okay, thanks. Thanks.
Slava, yeah, maybe my question goes in the same direction like Duncan's regarding the percentage of yes, I think 60% right now. What do you think what your paying customers want to have? Is it the 60? Is this enough, or is it the 75 that you will achieve maybe in a year, or what will be the percentage of accuracy?
We think in a half year we will achieve 70 maybe. So I try to make realistic, not so optimistic numbers for you. Yes, and we will start for B2C because this accuracy number is about deception detection. Also, we have emotion recognition, and it is most focusedly on B2C, and it is high accuracy, more than 80%.
Thank you.
Okay.
You have one more to say, Jens?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's move to the poll, please.
Okay.
And maybe Chris, you could also start sharing your screen to hear about our very own foundants till we have the poll.
Sure.
Foundants, woohoo! Yes, we should do some cheering. Okay, we are waiting for the poll. Cool. We will keep this open for like 20 seconds or so.
So I hope you liked all the presentations today. Obviously, the last three ones were the ones from the current cohort, so available for evaluation of 2 million pre-money with the suggested deal that we already presented for you at 6% for 125K. I think, you know, it's a wide mixture of ventures, obviously, from global ventures from all over the world. But I think we have proven with the first presentations also, you know, that we can deliver and develop on ventures and show like real world traction revenue even after this very early phase of venture building. So now it's time to really present sort of the opportunity in the overall ecosystem. Our deal flow platform Foundance, which belongs 100% to Soonami itself, delivers a fully perfect digital process for global founders, meaning we suggest the global founders to first, you know, fill the team, get connected to advisors and early venture freelancers to develop the venture further, to get support with a lot of steps, you know, with tooling from Web3 and AI. We suggest to get a wallet and a cap table, a tokenized cap table, and a governance on our platform, just to be able to give the project and venture a first structure and to later decide where to incorporate once you find traction. In our next cohort, in the next VentureTon, October 7th, we also show the founders how to, you know, we support the founders how to get traction. We not only support them, you know, in marketing tools and social media, we also generate them a website in one click, and we allow them to do crowdfunding by selling NFTs for their project. And for us, it's only important because we really want to scale the cohorts to, you know, 4-digit founders. It is important to identify the projects which, you know, really pick up speed, and therefore we offer 6 ways to, you know, show us the traction to the jury on our platform. Our go-to-market is by delivering, you know, the platform itself. You always have to solve the chicken and egg problem. Our go-to-market is that we've really said we will produce our own cohorts or offer our own cohorts. We are now offering the 5th cohort starting this October. We had overall more than 6,000 users on the platform and more than 1,000 VentureTon participants overall. We have already committed 9 investments, which have received 6 ventures have received follow-on funding already. We also offer our founders discounts, you know, credits for Google Cloud and AWS. We connect them to grant programs. We actually did our first deal with an accelerator program where we receive their users and we suggest our cohorts afterwards to run their program. We do obviously premium services for our founders and offer premium services, and we have partners that pay bounties for us during the VentureTon. Our revenue model is that we take 3% on a successful investment, meaning that if there's a 125K investment being facilitated, the investor gets 6%, we get 3%. Usually we also commit 20K during the investment period to the team, meaning that we only have to raise another 105K additionally. Long term, nevertheless, we want to really look into a different model where we take less share of the venture therefore from any venture which starts on the platform, meaning we are interested long-term to just offer the perfect digital process to start a venture, and offer that at a discounted rate. The unit economics are, in our opinion, very interesting. So we have roughly $20 cost per participant of our cohort. We're facilitating investments into 1 out of 30 of the teams, meaning we have variable costs of roughly 1.5K USD. The initial value of the investment for us is more than 40K. So already there we have, pretty much done a multiple of 30, and with an average return of 5 times after 6 years, we have a multiple on the investment of more than 130 generated. Our business plan obviously consists of a lot of portfolio return, meaning that will only kick in 3, 4, 5 years from now. But we will also offer hackathons, the platform to run their hackathons on Foundance, basically for free, only if we should be there to generate more marketing and generate more users. Then we charge for this. Obviously also premium services and commissions for software partners will increase our revenue that we already generate revenue next year, and only need another 2 to 2.5 million to go break even. The roadmap is that we have launched last week officially. We will do a funding round this year, which we've already roughly committed 2 million. We are looking for another 1 to 1.5. We will offer an official AI co-founder connected to our processes, to the 25 steps. So every single one of these steps will be supported by an AI co-founder. We will launch our token next year, and we hope to facilitate 60 investments in 2025.
Okay.
We are a senior founder team, and also have a lot of great entrepreneurs who are already supporting Soonami and also have invested. And what we think is really interesting, once mature, the platform can be applied to other markets at the moment where it's a Web3 and AI focused platform. So we're also happy to take your investment into that platform. We will have different ways of investment here. We're at the moment working on a rethink fund investment where you can stake or use staked tokens to take the staking returns and invest them into our ecosystem. But obviously we're also taking direct investments into Soonami, and would be very happy to see you being interested. I hope you liked the day so far and the whole presentation. Yeah, we are obviously, I will be taking questions if there are any. But yeah, we hope to do that in 3 months again, and to see you and welcome you here again for the next cohort. Thank you very much.
Yes, we can have some questions. If there are, I think we already are like beyond time. So probably then we can have closing. Thank you everyone for joining. This was great. Yes, we have a poll for founders.
Yes,
also.
you have a question. Do we have a mapping where we see where all our potential investors come from, sourcing, and where we have invested? I'd be interested to see how much do we have Asia, how much do we have South America, Europe, or the Americas, or what?
You mean the geography where the investors come from?
Yeah, exactly.
At the moment, it is mostly a European plus one VC from the US. That is at the moment where our investors come from.
No,
But
I mean, sorry, don't mean investors. I mean the demo day, the demo day pitches.
Oh, the pitches.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, which relation we have in the pitches, which were followed up by third parties and not. Chris, we spoke about this topic.
Yeah, I think we have, for example, we have an analysis of where all the cohort participants come from. And there is, India is a big geo, roughly 25 to 30%, roughly 25 to 30% come from Europe, and the rest comes from all over the world at the moment. Concerning this special cohort, I actually don't have the exact numbers. I don't know. Do you have them, Diksha, or anybody else?
Yes, we definitely have them, and we can offer them to you, and we can send you the exact numbers of our cohorts and startups that make it, to the demo day, and also investments and what's their geography and how we source them. They are not public, but we can definitely send it to you.
They would interest me because I'm I'm looking at different situations and like to understand where your clusters are and where not. I'm an early investor with Soonami with Chris, and I'm following up this year. So I'd like to get knowledge 1 or 2 levels deeper to understand the sourcing and the reasoning.
We will send you some more information on this.
Then you all have a nice day. I need to rush off because I got a very important lady sitting opposite my daughter who wants to talk to me.
Say hi to her.
I will. She
And
said, thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Yeah, I think we're anyhow over time. Thanks, everyone, for joining today's session. Hope you liked it and hope to see you soon.